If safety matters to you, listen closely. Anytime the police get involved in a car sale, that's a clear warning sign something isn't right. And the truth is, you don't have to be caught in an obvious crime to get burned. Buying the wrong used car can land you in legal trouble, destroy your finances, or leave you stranded on the side of the road. Most buyers think they're scoring a deal, but sellers know every trick in the book. In fact, 69% of people regret buying the car they did. That's not just because of bad luck. It's because many fall for scams that are easy to avoid if you know what to look for. In this video, I'll show you 18 checks you must perform before buying any used car. Each one is simple, but together they can save you thousands of dollars and protect you from getting tangled up in something far worse than a bad deal. And stick around until the very end, because the bonus tip is the only safeguard you have against buying a complete lemon. Number 18, check for aftermarket modifications. Not all modifications are bad, but many are warning signs that a car has been abused or tampered with. Sellers sometimes add performance chips, exhaust systems, or suspension upgrades to make a vehicle look sportier and more valuable. The problem is that these mods often shorten the car's lifespan and can even make it illegal to drive on public roads. When inspecting a car, look for signs of aftermarket work. Oversized exhausts, lowered suspensions, non-factory wiring, or cheap add-ons like HID headlights. Under the hood, be cautious of altered intake systems or spliced wiring. Both can create long-term reliability issues. Mods also suggest the car may have been driven hard. A turbocharged engine with a tuned ECU might feel fast on a test drive, but it could be hiding dangerous stress on the internals. Insurance companies may even charge higher rates for heavily modified vehicles. If you see obvious modifications, ask for receipts and professional installation records. If the seller can't provide proof, assume the worst. A car that's been hacked together for speed or style will usually cost you far more in repairs than it's worth. Number 17, verify ownership and title status. The car itself might look perfect, but none of it matters if the paperwork isn't clean. One of the most common traps buyers fall into is skipping a proper title check. If the seller doesn't legally own the car, or if there's a lien against it, you could lose the vehicle even after paying for it. Start by asking to see the title in the seller's name. Compare the VIN on the title with the VIN stamped on the car, under the windshield, on the driver's side, door jamb, and on the engine bay plate. If anything doesn't match, walk away immediately. Be especially cautious with open titles or stories like, "I'm selling it for a friend." That's how stolen cars and unpaid loans get passed off to unsuspecting buyers. Also, confirm that the title isn't branded salvage, rebuilt, or flood, even if the car looks fine. A branded title will slash the resale value and can make insuring the car difficult. Ownership problems can't be fixed after the fact, so verify the title before you hand over a single dollar. Number 16, check the airbags. Airbags are one of the most critical safety features in any car, yet they're often overlooked during inspections. After an accident, some sellers skip proper repairs and never replace deployed airbags. Or worse, they install cheap counterfeit ones that won't protect you in a crash. Here's how to check. When you first turn the key, the airbag light on the dashboard should come on briefly and then turn off. If it doesn't light up at all, that's a red flag. It may have been tampered with. Look closely at the steering wheel and dashboard panels. Signs of uneven seams, loose stitching, or replaced trim could mean airbags were removed or replaced improperly. Airbag modules and sensors are expensive, sometimes costing thousands to replace. That's why shady sellers cut corners and hope you won't notice. But buying a car with missing or fake airbags is more than a financial risk. It's a danger to your life. If anything looks suspicious, demand proof of repair records, or, better yet, move on to another car. Number 15, maintenance records. If there's one thing that tells you the real story of a car, it's the paperwork. Cars don't just die on their own. They die because someone didn't maintain them. Poor maintenance can cut a vehicle's lifespan by tens of thousands of miles, and the seller knows it. That's why they'll often try to convince you the car has been well taken care of, without giving you any proof. Don't fall for it. Ask for receipts of oil changes, timing belt replacements, and especially transmission fluid service. These are the lifelines of an engine. If the seller shrugs and says, "I did it myself," or "I lost the records," take that as a red flag. It usually means it never happened. Here's the reality. A car with no documented service history is a gamble. If the transmission hasn't been cared for, there's more than a 50% chance it will fail, and that repair can run anywhere from $1,800 to $6,000. Unless the price is cut in half, skip the deal. Records don't lie, but sellers do. Number 14, check for oil leaks. Oil leaks are one of the easiest problems to spot, and that's exactly why shady sellers go out of their way to cover them up. According to roadside inspections, nearly half of used cars show signs of fluid leaks. The seller knows this will scare buyers off, so don't be surprised if the engine bay looks suspiciously spotless. A perfectly clean engine might look appealing, but often it's been steam cleaned to hide drips and stains. Don't just glance under the hood. Get down and look underneath the car. Pay attention to the oil pan, transmission housing, and around the valve covers. Fresh wet spots or greasy grime are signs something is leaking. If you see cardboard or fresh gravel under the car, that's another trick to disguise drips. The excuses will come fast. It's just sweating a little, or I spilled some while topping up. Don't buy it. Even a small leak can lead to major damage. A cheap gasket might run a few $100s, but a blown rear main seal or oil-starved engine can cost thousands. Oil is the blood of the car, and leaks mean trouble. Number 13, inspect the belts and hoses. Most buyers overlook belts and hoses because they seem minor, but these simple parts can make or break your car. A worn serpentine belt or a weak coolant hose can lead to catastrophic failures in minutes. That's why you should always check them before handing over your money. Start with the serpentine belt. If it looks cracked, frayed, or shiny and glazed, it's on its last legs. That single belt powers the alternator, water pump, AC compressor, and power steering. If it snaps while driving, your car will overheat almost instantly. That can mean a blown head gasket or even a cracked engine block, repairs that easily climb into the thousands. Now, check the hoses. Squeeze them gently near the clamps. They should feel firm, not soft or mushy. If they look swollen, glassy, or brittle, they're about to fail. One burst coolant hose can leave you stranded on the highway, facing a destroyed engine. A seller may brush it off with, "They look fine to me." Don't listen. Belts and hoses are cheap to replace, but ignoring them can cost you the entire car. Number 12, test every electrical accessory and the infotainment system. Modern cars rely on electronics more than ever, and repairs can be brutally expensive. In fact, nearly 1 in 4 cars less than 5 years old has some type of electrical fault. That's why you can't just assume everything works. You need to press every button yourself. Start with the basics. Roll down each window, lock and unlock the doors, and adjust both side mirrors. Then move on to the HVAC system. Does it heat up quickly? Does the AC blow cold? Air should come out of the defroster, not just the dash vents. Test the sunroof if the car has one, and don't forget features like heated seats. Once you're driving, pay close attention to the dashboard warning lights. Then check the infotainment system. Navigation, radio, and Bluetooth might seem like minor luxuries, but when they fail, they can cost thousands to replace. Sellers often brush off faults with excuses like, "It just needs a recharge," or "We never use that feature." Translation, it's broken and they don't want to fix it. Don't ignore electrical gremlins. They can drain your wallet faster than engine problems. Number 11, test the brakes and drive it on the highway. The test drive isn't about enjoying the ride, it's about uncovering problems the seller hopes you won't notice. Too many buyers take a quick spin around the block, nod their heads, and call it good. That's a huge mistake. You need at least 10 minutes in town and another 10 miles at highway speed to really hear what the car is telling you. Pay attention to the brakes. Do they grab smoothly, or does the car pull to one side? At highway speed, weak or uneven brakes become obvious and dangerous. While driving, take your hands lightly off the wheel for a moment to see if the car tracks straight. Any drifting means alignment or suspension issues. Listen carefully. Buzzing, humming, or ticking noises aren't normal road sounds. They're warnings of worn bearings, uneven tires, or even transmission trouble. Sellers may try to distract you with small talk or turn up the radio. Don't let them. The road test is your chance to hear the truth. And if the car doesn't feel solid and confident at speed, walk away. Number 10, listen carefully to the engine. Engines always speak before they fail. The problem is that most buyers don't know how to listen. Once the hood is open and the car is running, focus on the sounds it makes. Hissing can point to a vacuum leak. Ticking may mean worn lifters or valves. Squealing often signals a failing belt. And a deep whining can indicate transmission or differential trouble. None of these are small issues. If the car is a diesel, there's one extra step. Perform a blow-by test. Simply remove the oil filler cap while the engine is idling. A small amount of vapor is normal, but if smoke pours out, it's a clear sign the engine has excessive wear. That's a rebuild waiting to happen. Sellers often try to downplay strange noises. They'll say, "It's always sounded like that," or "It just needs a tune-up." Don't take their word for it. Strange engine sounds almost always mean expensive repairs. If you aren't confident diagnosing noises yourself, bring along a mechanic or pay for a pre-purchase inspection. Spending a couple hundred now could save you thousands later. Number 9, inspect the door panels and paint for signs of past accidents. Even in states where disclosure laws exist, sellers don't always tell you if a car has been in a crash. And if the repairs were done well, the damage may not show up on a quick glance. That's why you need to slow down and look for the small clues that reveal the truth. Start with the panel gaps. Run your finger along the seams of the hood, trunk, and doors. If one side has a wider gap than the other, the car may have been pieced back together. Then step back and study the reflections on the paint. Uneven gloss or ripples often mean body filler is hiding underneath. Fresh paint in just one area is another red flag. Some sellers even claim it's a factory defect or touch-up work. Don't buy the excuse. A paint thickness gauge can confirm whether panels have been resprayed, and if the roof paint is unusually thick, it could point to a rollover repair. Hidden accident damage reduces a car's value by up to 30%, and you don't want to pay full price for a patched-up wreck. Number 8, inspect every fluid. Fluids are the lifeblood of a car, and their condition can tell you more about its health than the seller ever will. Start with the engine oil. Pull the dipstick and check both the level and the color. Clean oil should be golden or amber, not thick and black. Milky oil is even worse. That often means coolant is mixing with it, a classic sign of a blown head gasket. Next, check the transmission fluid. Sellers love to repeat the myth of lifetime fluid, but no fluid lasts forever. Transmission fluid should be bright red and not smell burnt. If it does, the gearbox may already be slipping its way toward a multi-thousand-dollar repair. Finally, inspect the brake fluid. A low reservoir usually means the pads are badly worn. If it's suspiciously topped up to the brim, the seller may be trying to hide that very fact. Don't forget coolant and power steering fluid if the car has it. These quick checks take only minutes, but they can expose issues that would otherwise stay hidden until it's too late. Ignore them, and you're gambling with both your safety and your wallet. Number 7, watch the exhaust smoke. When the seller starts the engine, don't just listen. Go straight to the back of the car. Exhaust smoke can reveal problems that cost more than the car itself. A little white vapor on a cold morning is normal, but thick white smoke that smells sweet usually means coolant is leaking into the cylinders. That points to a blown head gasket or even a cracked engine block. Repairs that can reach 4 or 5 figures. Blue smoke is another danger sign. It means the engine is burning oil, either through worn piston rings or failing valve seals. Sellers often dismiss it as normal for an older car, but constant oil consumption is anything but normal. Black smoke means the engine is running rich, dumping too much fuel into the system. That can be caused by clogged injectors or failing sensors, and it will destroy your fuel economy while poisoning the catalytic converter. Finally, gray smoke can indicate oil leaks or transmission problems. If any smoke lingers after warm-up, don't accept excuses. Exhaust doesn't lie. It tells you exactly how healthy the engine really is. Number 6, plug in an OBD2 scanner. The check engine light is only part of the story. Smart sellers know you'll be looking for it, so they often clear the error codes right before you arrive. That's why you can't just rely on what's showing on the dash. You need to look directly into the car's computer. An inexpensive OBD2 scanner can tell you 2 critical things: any stored or pending trouble codes, and the status of the readiness monitors. If every monitor shows ready, that means the car's computer has run its self-tests and things are likely okay. But if they all say not ready or incomplete, that's a major red flag. It means the codes were cleared recently and the system hasn't had enough time to detect the same problems again. Sellers will often insist, no codes means no problems. Don't believe it. A freshly cleared computer is one of the oldest tricks in the book. Within days of driving away, that check engine light could come back with a costly surprise. Anything from failing sensors to a bad catalytic converter that costs thousands to replace. Number 5, watch out for odometer fraud. Rolling back miles is one of the oldest scams in the used car market, and it still costs buyers billions every year. The trick is simple. Take a high mileage car, dial the odometer back, and suddenly it looks like a bargain. But the only person winning is the seller. Here's how you protect yourself. First, compare the odometer reading on the dashboard to the mileage listed in the vehicle history report. If the numbers don't line up, walk away immediately. Even if they do match, look for signs of wear that don't match the mileage. A car showing only 80,000 miles shouldn't have heavily worn pedals, a sagging driver's seat, or a faded steering wheel. Sellers will try to downplay this by saying the car has just been loved a lot, or that the miles are mostly highway. Don't buy it. Every 30,000 miles adds thousands of dollars in depreciation. And if you're tricked into paying for a low-mile car that's really been run hard, you'll not only lose money up front, you'll also be staring down repairs much sooner than expected. Number 4, inspect for rust and frame damage. Rust is called car cancer for a reason. Once it starts spreading, it doesn't stop, and it can quietly destroy a vehicle from the inside out. Unlike a worn tire or bad alternator, severe rust can make a car unsafe to drive and nearly impossible to repair. That's why you need to take this step seriously. Start with the undercarriage. Use a flashlight to check the frame rails, suspension mounting points, and wheel wells. If you see flaking metal or bubbling under the paint, poke the area with a screwdriver. Soft spots mean the rust has already eaten through. Also look at the bottoms of the doors and around the trunk. Be wary of freshly painted surfaces next to just a little surface rust. That often means the seller tried to cover up deeper corrosion. Rust doesn't just make a car ugly, it can weaken brake lines, suspension parts, and even the structure of the frame. Sellers may claim every car has a bit of rust, but once it spreads, the car's safety is compromised. Fixing severe rust can cost more than the car is worth. Number 3, always check the vehicle history report. A seller's word means nothing without proof, and the best proof you can get is a proper vehicle history report. Too many buyers skip this step because they don't want to spend $50, but that small investment can save thousands. Start by getting the vehicle identification number, or VIN, and running it through a trusted service like Carfax or AutoCheck. These reports show if the car has been in accidents, branded as salvage, or even stolen. Some sellers will try to save you the trouble by handing you a free report. Don't trust it. Dealers usually buy the cheapest, least detailed versions. And if they're hiding something, that's exactly what they'll give you. Watch out for excuses too. Don't waste your money, or I already checked it myself. If they're saying that, there's probably a reason. Remember, a salvage or branded title can crush a car's value and leave you stuck with endless repairs. Paying for a report with a buyback guarantee is your insurance. Skipping it is like gambling blind. And the house always wins. Number 2, inspect the tires and suspension carefully. Most buyers glance at the tires, see some tread left, and move on. But worn or mismatched tires can reveal bigger problems hiding underneath. Start by turning the front wheels outward so you can see the tread clearly. Run your hand across the surface. If it feels uneven or feathered, that usually means poor alignment or suspension wear. Both can get expensive fast. Check that all 4 tires are the same brand and similar in wear. If they're mismatched, it suggests the previous owner cut corners on maintenance. Oddly enough, 4 brand new tires can also be suspicious. Sometimes sellers replace them all at once to disguise uneven wear that points to deeper issues in the suspension system. Don't forget to check tread depth with a penny test. If you can see the top of Lincoln's head, the tires are worn out. That's at least an $800 bill for a decent set, and much more for trucks and SUVs. If suspension parts are bad, Strut replacements can push the cost to $1,800 or higher. Tires tell a story, and it's one you can't afford to ignore. Number 1, check for flood damage. Flooded cars are some of the most dangerous buys on the used market. Unlike an accident, where the damage is usually visible, water damage hides deep in the wiring, carpets, and frame. A car that looks fine today can turn into a nightmare of electrical failures and rust within months. Start by opening the doors and taking a deep breath. If you smell mildew, mold, or an overwhelming air freshener, be suspicious. Sellers often try to cover up the odor of water damage with heavy scents. Pull up a corner of the carpet and look underneath for silt, dirt, or rust on the floor pan. Check under the seats and dash for rusty bolts or screws, and inspect the headlights and taillights for condensation trapped inside. These are telltale signs the car has been underwater. Sellers will claim the smell is just from sitting, or that the moisture is harmless. Don't believe it. Water-damaged cars are almost impossible to fix and will keep breaking down as corrosion spreads. Walking away is the only safe option. Bonus tip: research the model year before you buy. Even if a car passes every inspection on this list, there's still one more step you can't afford to skip: digging into the model's history. Every manufacturer has years where they get it right and years where they get it wrong. Buying the wrong year can saddle you with constant headaches, even if the car looks perfect today. Start by checking online for common problems with the exact make, model, and year you're considering. Owner forums, recall databases, and reliability reports will tell you what tends to go wrong and how often. Look into whether recalls were issued and confirmed through the vehicle history report that they've actually been addressed. You can even call local parts stores and ask about demand for parts on that specific car. If they tell you certain components are always failing, take the hint. Don't assume that just because the brand is known for reliability, every model year is safe. Some are riddled with design flaws. A few minutes of research now can save you from years of frustration and thousands in unexpected repairs. You've just seen 18 checks, plus one bonus tip, that can protect you from scams, costly mistakes, and even legal trouble when buying a used car. Most sellers will say whatever it takes to make a deal, but the truth is always in the details: the maintenance records, the fluids, the tires, the sounds the engine makes. If you know how to spot the warning signs, you'll never fall for their tricks. Think about it. Spending a few extra minutes with an OBD2 scanner, crawling under the car to check for leaks, or taking a longer test drive could save you thousands of dollars and years of regret. Too many buyers rush, believe the seller's story, and end up paying for it later. Now, you don't have to be one of them. So here's your rule of thumb. If something feels off, walk away. There will always be another car, but there won't always be another chance to protect your wallet. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more practical car advice, and share this video with someone shopping for their next ride. One small step today could stop a disaster tomorrow.